on this. On the vice presidential election, within the last half an hour, we've got confirmation from the Trinamool Congress, which is one of the largest opposition blocs, that they will not be backing either Jagdeep Dhankar or Margaret Alva. So the question that's being asked, Zafar Islam, is what is going on here? Why would one of the principal opposition parties neither back your candidate nor back the opposition candidate? So is there some kind of behind-the-scenes play going on here?
No, Zaka, see, you have to understand the dynamics. First of all, they chose the wrong candidate for presidential election. They had chosen somebody which everyone knew that they will not get support, or he will not get support from many political parties and their own members. Yes, still they went ahead, even though everybody was suggesting that Shinaji should opt out of this election and withdraw his nomination. But he didn't do that, and nor that TMC or other political parties pushed him to do that. Here also, they have chosen the candidate without having any discussion, and by abstaining from the election, that only suggests that it only strengthens the hand of NDA, and eventually, in any case, he is going to win. But of course, we will win with a bigger margin than what was.
The question that's being asked, Zafar, the question that's being asked is, we now know that I think last week when Mamata Banerjee was in North Bengal, in Darjeeling specifically, there was a meeting between Himanta Biswa Sarma, the Assam Chief Minister, and Mamata Banerjee. Was this decision to abstain a consequence of that meeting? Because the TMC did not attend the opposition meeting that happened on Sunday at Mr. Sharad Pawar's residence, where Margaret Alva's name was proposed.
See, I can't speak about it, and I don't know honestly whether that meeting has anything to do with this, what the decision they have taken. But clearly it suggests that TMC and other political parties in opposition, they do not have any consensus candidate.
Okay.
Whatever announcement has been made is not being supported by other political parties in opposition bench. And it is very apparent that they are choosing candidates without consultation here, and also candidate which can get support from everyone. Here you can see the contrast. For presidential election, we have chosen a candidate which is not getting support from the opposition bench. Of course, 100% from the ruling bench and NDA, but also from the opposition bench. And same thing will happen.
Okay.
Trust me, same thing will happen even for VP election.
Okay, Anshul, Avijit, you heard from Abhishek Banerjee just moments ago. He is saying that the TMC was not invited for that meeting, or there was no adequate notice given to the TMC for that meeting that happened at Sharad Pawar's residence. The TMC was not consulted on the candidate Margaret Alva, and therefore they are going to abstain.
Look, Zaka, this is an evolving story. The comment just came out a couple of moments back. I mean, I can't be expected to comment on them. I don't have full appreciation of the facts. I don't have full appreciation of the kind of background that went in these kind of deliberations. One telling comment was that this will not affect opposition unity in any particular way. There may have been particular misgivings. If there were misgivings, they can always be resolved. This is how the way the opposition works. I mean, the opposition is a complex entity. It's not a monolith, right? That you can attribute certain things to it, and that's how it's going to function. The element of predictability in an opposition.
Anshul, doesn't it worry you that one of the principal opposition players is not backing your candidate?
No, let me just become fully aware of the facts. There have been stray statements that have come out. The statement was played just before this bulletin. We will be fully cognizant of what has been happening. Misgivings can always be dispelled with any kind of forum like the opposition. It's not unique. It's not that it's never happened before.
Okay.
It's not that there are pulls and pressures within an opposition. It's not a monolith, right? So there are many things that happen within, but it's nothing that is beyond any discussion or debate. I
would imagine that the clarification of misgivings or the assuaging of misgivings would happen before the number 2 in that party comes out and publicly says that we're going to abstain in that vote. But be that as it may, that is the concern of another opposition party, not yours. But Shantanu Gupta, just to take this larger point ahead, both in the presidential election and in the vice presidential election, maybe more in the presidential election, the opposition had a real chance of putting up a fight. They made multiple mistakes, whether it was not finding a consensus candidate, whether it was not finding someone who actually could cut across opposition ranks, get in parties like the BJD, the YSRCP, etc., who would back such a candidate. The opposition could have given the NDA a run for its money. It simply failed from strategy to execution.
Yeah. In fact, last year we heard a lot of rumors that Prashant Kishore is making a tie-up of all the parties around Sharad Pawar's name. Then we realized Sharad Pawar refused to be the candidate. Then they tried around Farooq Abdullah. Then they tried around Gopal Gandhi. And nothing worked. So they are not even to have a consensus on a presidential candidate where the stake is lesser than a prime minister candidate. So come 2024, these parties will be again, I think, who will be the larger umbrella? I think that's the problem. A lot of people said, okay, this is my candidate or TMC's candidate. It's declared by Congress or it's declared by TMC. And then still, I think, who will be the bigger daddy? That's the question. And that will make them fall again in 2024. I think this was, as you rightly said, a golden opportunity for them in run up to 2024 to show a real unity and make BJP run for its money. But even both in both the elections, and even the candidate selection was such below par that they were not able to send a message, let alone winning the election.
All right, it's interesting, isn't it? For the presidential election, it was a TMC candidate. Of course, Mr. Sinha is a TMC member. He's the vice president of that party. He is losing clearly. And for the vice presidential election, a Congress candidate, even though the Congress did not propose Margaret Alvar's name, is what we are given to understand, a Congress candidate is not being backed by the TMC. But I've got a piece of breaking news. I want to go across to that, and then I'll go across back to Sumitra Goenka.